it's Lavon. Welcome back to my channel and to Step by Step. This is part 2 of the making of the really big sign. I was hoping that this would be the final part, but apparently it's the middle part because it's such a really big sign. So last week we showed you, with the help of Dawn, that she made a stencil for the truck door, and we got that all painted. And I had already painted the boards, the engineered siding that I was going to use. And then I started with the lettering. So I used a printout of the words, or how I wanted the lettering to be, the font. And I just freehanded with pencil the letters. And now I'm taking Dixie Belle's Caviar and I am coloring that in. So it's a painstaking process and it takes a long time because you want to make sure you get it really dark. And there I have decor done. Then I continue with La Vintage on the other piece. So I'm making it far enough on each side that there's room in the middle for the truck door. So each piece is 13 feet by 4 feet, so really big. It was going to be 16 feet, but I cut it down a little bit to fit inside the poles that I have above the door, and also for city regulations. So now I just, continue to paint with Dixie Belle's Caviar. And a lot of people might wonder, should I use this paint outside? I have every confidence that this paint will be just fine exposed to the elements. I have heard of other people that have used signs. I actually did myself use a sign. That one I did on vinyl, and I had actually decoupaged a large image, and it ended up that the image that I decoupaged, that kind of wore off, but the paint that I did around the border, it didn't go anywhere, and it looked as brand new a year later as it did the day I did it. So I continue to work, and I will seal this though. My process is using a flat sealer, Dixie Belle's flat, and then I go to Gator Hide as well, and I'll put a couple coats of that on because that's a really water resistant paint. So I'm like lounging on this piece as I work. But it's I wasn't sure exactly how much would fit, so I kind of jumped around the letters just to make sure they'd fit. And I do have the sketch drawn out, but I'm really just taking this brush and making a really light letter, and then I thicken it up as I go. And I used the lines in the paneling kind of like a first grade primer. If you remember the pads that have all the lines on them when you're learning how to write cursive, even if they teach cursive anymore, but they taught me. But anyway, those books, those primer books, that's what I was kind of using all the lines for to help me out. Yeah, I'm really trying to squeeze some letters in here, so I feel like the La Vintage part was a little bit compressed, but it's a longer word than decor, so what are you gonna do? Make it work, right? Okay, so now I begin with the screws. And this is a process, and it's with anything, it's a learning experience, because I started with $22, or no, excuse me, $12 boxes of 88 screws. They're stainless steel screws. I wanted that so they'd be nice and shiny. These ones had a star head, so it came with a special bit. So I am just like taking my time here and screwing each screw in one by one. And like I said, it's a learning process because I realized later on that I could go a little faster if I pre-drilled. So not only was that a learning experience, but also the screws. I also didn't realize how many screws it was going to take at this point, and I was going to go absolutely broke by using all these screws from Lowe's. Not to diss Lowe's, but it's just was going to be super expensive to do what I wanted to do. So I did find a local place, a surplus store, that I was able to buy some screws by the pound. So I did do that, but right now I'm continuing. Like I said, I had 4 boxes of 88 screws, and I kept going with the letters. So keep that in mind, because that might be important for you to know later on. So I keep going. I think I'm still working with the original screws and still not pre-drilling holes at this point. And it doesn't go too slowly, but it could go faster. That's the last box of the 88 screws. Get those bits out of the way and carry on. So there we are. Now I'm cooking with gas because I've discovered pre-drilling. Not only have I discovered that, but also that I can use the heat gun to blow away the sawdust. So working away here, and I really hope that you will subscribe to the channel because we have all kinds of fun things coming up, and we're doing all kinds of changes to the store, getting ready for our really grand reopening. Lots of other projects going on. They put another video up on NJ on Air. If you haven't checked that out, you can go to that website, and my videos are in the lifestyle section. My show is called Let's Design, and there is a link for it in the description box. Also, there's an app, an NJ on Air app. So I continue this process, and also keep in mind, because I'm telling you how wonderful Dixie Belle products are, that you can purchase them, and you can use my affiliate link if you like, and that link is also in the description box. The affiliate link doesn't cost you any extra money when you use it. It's just like you ordering, except I get a little spiff. So, of course, I'd appreciate it if you use that link. Get my heat gun, not because I want to heat things up, but just to blow the sawdust out of the way. I found that to be really helpful. Making a mess, but hey, gotta make a mess sometimes to make something good, right? So I'm getting so excited for this opening. I'm so grateful for Dawn and Dee and Nikki in our store that are helping me make all my crazy ideas come to fruition. Because it's people that indulge me in my hoarding that can appreciate when it comes time to use all those little things that are most of the time just in the way. So now I'm changing the bit on here, and so I have got my first set of screws that I've bought by the pound, and these ones are a little bit different. The head on them is a little different. It's Phillips head as opposed to the other one, but I don't think it matters. I don't think when you're on the street that you're going to be able to tell the difference. So another addition to the sign was I used Dixie Belle's Tobacco Road to age the sign along the outside edges, and I think that turned out really cool too. So carry on and back to the La Vintage sign, and I will definitely show you the steps that I took to age the sign in the next video. And I have customers in the store, and my helper Nikki is there, so I'm just gonna keep moving along. I feel like a doctor when I'm working with a mask. And another box of screws comes in. Like I said, you might want to pay attention to how many screws I'm using. Just for fun. So I really appreciate you watching, and I hope you stay tuned to see part 3 and hopefully the final chapter, the hanging of the really big sign. So I also hope you visit lavintagedecor.company, and also visit us on Instagram at lavintagedecor, and on Facebook we're La Vintage Decor Altoona. Stay well.